New World has been given a second opportunity, another grasp at the rope of escape. On the 15th of July, the game came to PlayStation Plus, which saw a large influx of new players, which of course is amazing by its own merit. However, the reason why this is so vital now is because if the developers don't truly captivate on this audience and truly knuckle down and try and encapsulate them in an experience that they can deliver on, this might be the last opportunity that New World has got to rise from the ashes. The window that we're in right now is arguably the most vital window of opportunity that New World has ever had, and by God, of course, it has had a lot. As someone who has hopped in and out of the game over the years, I have seen the game at its highest highs, reaching almost 1 million concurrent players, all the way down to its lowest lows of less than 10,000 active players. Now, whilst the Steam charts still remain fairly stagnant, and if anything, they're probably losing a couple of players here and there, it's absolutely undeniable the sheer force and momentum that the PlayStation player base has given the game. So, with that said, New World, it's really over to you to hunker down and make the most of this opportunity, because I fear for myself and everyone else that loves the game, we won't get another shot like this. In most ordinary circumstances for New World, this would be a bit of a risky opportunity, something they probably wouldn't have been able to capitalize on. However, with the direction the team is going in now, with a couple of internal changes, plus with the recent roadmap we've had for Season 9 and 10, I truly feel they can pull it out of the bag. Season 9, for example, heavily leans into the endgame PvP, introducing modes like Capture the Flag, offering more map choices. For example, the 2 maps that are being introduced to Capture the Flag, not to mention the 3 versus 3 arena map and the Outpost Rush map that we've had a brief preview of. A huge reason that people have left the game and have caused a mass exodus outside of course, bugs, is the fact that the end game, for a lot of people, remains fairly stale. You're stuck in a fairly stale loop with not much to do, so people have been crying out for endgame content for a while. And well, albeit it's a little bit late, at least they are working on it. Things are definitely coming. However, more importantly, and we've talked about this in another video, I feel like the main staple, the main reinforcement that is going to keep these players here will be in Season 10. Unlike Season 9, which is mainly focused on PvP and a couple of endgame systems that are changing, Season 10 is going to be the real foundation of change. This is where the main bulk of the content that is going to captivate future and existing audiences is going to exist. I truly feel like they're leaning into the things that we honestly fell in love with New World for. For example, the world, introducing a new zone to the map, more places to explore, regardless of anything else that you think about regarding New World. One thing you can't deny is that the world building is absolutely second to none. If anything is going to draw back players that have left or new players in, it will absolutely be expanding the world. There is only so much PvP that endgame players can do, so the fact that they're actually honing in, they're focusing on raids for the people that get to the endgame fairly quickly or that have been at endgame for a while, these raids are really going to be a focus of the endgame content going forwards. I do believe they're beginning to understand that there's no point enticing people into a really, really cool, fleshed out leveling experience for the end game to just be relatively hollow. Although it's taken time, I do feel like they are taking inspiration from other successful games that are out there in the genre. We've seen this before with the likes of World of Warcraft, where Blizzard would take an idea that's already adapted from another game and just do it better. This might be the time for New World to do the same, and I feel that that's what they're trying to do with the procedural dungeons that are going to be introduced in Season 10. I've said this before, and I will always compliment them on the world building and the dungeon design, but of course, after you've run these for a couple of times, they do remain stagnant. And of course, variety is the spice of life. If you're going to retain these players, something needs to change. There needs to be a variance each time, and God knows, people's attention span these days is a lot less than it used to be. So I'm really excited to see how that's implemented, and I do feel it will have a positive impact on the player base. Seeing them take ideas like set bonuses from other games is really, really great. Me, as an MMO player, I love to collect things, I love to watch number go up, and I feel like that's just something we're lacking. We've got an overarching gear score, which is absolutely fine to chase. You have your individual stat components like your int, your strength, you've got gems, of course, artifacts to chase, but the idea of collecting pieces of tier sets from different raids, from different dungeons, and really putting the work in to achieve something is what draws a lot of people in, and certainly draws me in. Now, I don't want this video to be a Season 9/Season 10 video, that we've already covered that before, but I do truly feel like if they're truly going to capture and retain this audience, they need to avoid one fatal mistake that they have made time and time again, and that is failing to deliver, or over-promising and under-delivering. I truly hope, beyond all else, that with Katie at the helm of the team now, that they absolutely come out swinging through Season 9, Season 10, and all of the content moving forwards, because this game, above all else, just needs momentum. We have just obtained the start of the regrowth, the resurrection of the player base, and my god, do we need to maintain that. And only through being true to your word, delivering when you say you're going to deliver, will you start to see the player base return. Bit by bit, moment by moment, people will pass word on through other people that have left the game, that are perhaps coming back to the game to say, hey, you know, New World's in a pretty good spot now. Hopefully videos like this also help. The game, of course, is not perfect, but I do truly feel that it doesn't deserve to be in the position that it is in right now, and I really feel like some real change could be on the horizon. As always with these videos, guys, these are just my thoughts, my hopes, my kind of faith, if you like. I really, truly am passionate about New World. I don't get paid to say anything sponsored in these videos. These are purely just my thoughts on a game that I genuinely have grown to love and enjoy. And at the moment, honestly, it really is the underdog. And if we're being totally real, who doesn't love the story of an upcoming underdog? So with that, hopefully we can see now that the stage is set. It is now up to Amazon Game Studios, the New World team, to really grab the ball by its horns, hunker down, and start delivering some high impact content on the regular. Give people a true and real reason to believe in New World again. Because if I'm being honest with you guys, a lot of the MMOs we've got access to now that are coming out bit by bit, they are all mainly just slop. We've had the same 10 MMOs in rotation for as long as I can remember. Newer MMOs, especially the ones that are like Korean releases, are all just cash grabs with pretty storefronts. The genre truly needs help. And well, if we've got a good fundamental, a good foundation of a game that just needs people to come back to it and truly understand that, you know, it can do it. It shot itself in the foot before, but it can become whole again. You get where I'm going with this. With that being said, like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, and by all means, I'll see you in the next one.